This isn't about glorifying the hood. It's not about condoning behavior and trying to do anything that would be detrimental to the community. What it is about is shedding light on places like the Pink Houses, like Bed-Stuy, places where young people have been exposed to trauma, and what comes out of that isn't always pretty. But it doesn't make their stories any less valid.
You just give me the word. Got a couple young shooters that'll put in the word. Show me where that piece of lead, we gon' pull up his skirt. He's a dead man walking 1 foot in the dirt. Got a loaded AR in a dark Charger. Leave him on the side of the road like Jordan Farber. He don't need a doctor, call a helicopter. Get him hit, toast to his death like we was mobsters.
I'm putting the clip in. We Jordan and Pippen. We Kobe and Shaq. Who you want me to clap?
911 is the emergency.
2724 Linden Boulevard.
2724 Linden Boulevard?
Yeah.
Are you in an apartment or private house?
This is a project.
Was somebody shot?
Yes. It's a male. He's shot in the chest.
Pitch the nose, put her mouth on top of his mouth, and blow 2 breaths in.
4, 5.
Let me ask you something. Are the cops assisting her?
They're right here. They're not with her. They're trying to, I guess, call backup. I don't know.
The relationship between the police and the black community ain't never been good.
Yeah, it's a straight disconnect.
It's definitely been a disconnect. How you gonna have people that don't come from our neighborhood
trying to police the neighborhood?
Right, exactly. They don't understand the culture, don't understand the people, but policing us, living a totally different type of life, representing something totally different. That's always gonna be a problem.
Tell me about this new project.
Oh, man.
Classic.
It's classic.
What's up,
Something
baby?
for the streets. It's gonna go down.
Good.
This is motivation for the streets right here, man.
Bumping you. Oh man, nah.
Good to come back, huh?
Of course it do. Of course it do. Some can't. You understand? So the thing is that the yellow tape was important though, man. It was something for me and Murda to come together and combine that energy and speak directly to this core right here.
That's actually the beauty of hip-hop, that it allows people to get a glimpse. It doesn't necessarily represent authenticity, but it allows people to get a glimpse as to what a real life is like.
You're gonna get a picture of where we come from.
Yeah.
A very vivid picture.
Yeah, and what dudes is actually going through on a daily basis. This is for the dudes that may not be able to, ride around in cars like me or Murda, but at the same time, they feel like they're gonna die trying.
This naming, this belonging, that component really, it becomes important because as the space changes, you're still able to tell the story from your childhood.
Tell me how this works. Tell me how the projects are broken down in terms of just crews and where you can go and where you can't go.
I mean, it's just very it's about your side. Like this is 7A side, over there is a different side. We call that Caveman. Then you got Hollywood side over there. Then you got Center side over there. It's basically everybody with who they with. It's just like a basketball game. We the Brooklyn Nets over here.
A world away from Central Park and the excessive wealth that surrounds it. Head across the bridge to Brooklyn, past the spill of gentrification, keep going. This story starts at the Pink Houses, a government project in an isolated area known as East New York.
You see how this look out here? Niggas come up out here, they grow up out here. It's like they ain't really got nothing to look forward to but the street life. The only opportunity that might present itself to them, or the easiest way they know how to get it, is going to get some drugs and hustle it, or going to take it from somebody. They don't think about maybe I could write a book or become a lawyer or become a doctor or I'm gonna really make it to the NBA. They don't really see that far out here like that. And the guys I looked up to was the guys that was in the streets, really, because that's what I was around.
I'm here to pick the brain of Uncle Murda, a rap artist and hood legend.
I know this shorty who be hugging the block. He be beefing with his moms, he's never met his pops.
His music success was his ticket out, but home is home. His arrival is noteworthy around here, where it seems cameras only come when something goes wrong, like when that rookie cop shot a young black man in the stairwell. But we'll get to that later. His boys join us. Fellow rap artist Maino is in the huddle. There is love here. There is family here.
Jump in the picture, bro!
There are real people here, but there are factors, systems, behaviors at play, some can't be justified, that leave most with an internal conflict.
Tell me, what do you see when you're looking at me?
With the media being a powerful institution, what we see in the hood, right? People assume that these people are criminals, it's violent, they're no daddies around, like moms are off doing whatever, right? And so not only does that shape how the outside world views these people, but it also shapes how the people view themselves in a lot of ways.
Both men came up in Brooklyn, Maino not far from East New York, right here on Nostrand and Gates in Bed-Stuy. You've heard the phrase, product of their environment. Maybe it's true.
We got Uncle Murda on Nostrand and Gates.
The idea that New York rappers don't support each other doesn't fit Maino and Murda. The two linked up for Yellow Tape Mixtape, a project that dropped in late March and connects two notorious neighborhoods.
Oh, baby.
You ain't playing with this feeling.
I want to better understand what makes these spaces so complex, so misunderstood by those who are too afraid to visit, and how music has been used as a vehicle, an outlet, a form of expression for those born into this life.
We used to always be down here. This was the most popular block in this area. This is an area we call N.A. Rock for Nostrand Avenue, N.A. Rock. So all up and down here from maybe like Lafayette to like Fulton Street, we call the strip, like N.A. Rock. So this is our hood right here. This was our neighborhood.
What's the family dynamic
Well,
like?
my house was pretty cool until the crack really got out of control. You understand? Into the drugs. Well, the drugs hit my household kind of hard. My father, he had a crack habit. My mother, had her issues. You feel me? So things weren't always as good. So what happens is that I begin to start to develop more on the street. As a kid, 12 years old, I was just in awe when I was able to come down here and just hang out with them. You understand? So that right there was what it was like, because I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go home, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, TV going, and you know what I'm saying? It was hard, like the TV going, but my story is not really different than any other kid's story either in that era coming from the ghetto.
You ready? Yeah, just take it right.
Remember when you hit your first lick?
Man, listen, man, I ain't forget nothing, man. You understand? Everything starts off pretty innocently. You understand? You start by stealing, and stealing things, going to the grocery store, you're stealing, and then that develops into other stuff. And next thing you know, you out here in the street for real. You understand? Like, you on the corners. I feel like when I got to the corner, I never been back home yet.
No way out.
No way out. How is it though? I mean, when you're dealing with poor school system, you understand? And economically, we out here f***ed up, and especially back then. You see? So the opportunities was really, like, who I didn't even think I could be anything. What happens is I wound up going to prison at 16, 17 years old and staying. Got my GED there. That's where I found music, and I came back and I was able to turn that into something, but I had to come back here.
With people having been locked away, they still had a connection to their community. And so by connecting to their music or connecting to their art, they're able to actually find their life in that space too.
My bid was a drug-related kidnapping. That's my charge.
Just part of the game.
Part of the game. Can't complain. It is what it is. You out here taking money.
How many years you do?
I did 10 years. Off of 5 to 15.
I'ma go harder than them. I'ma go harder than them. I'ma go harder than them. I'ma go harder than them.
While locked up, Maino started putting the pen to paper. He found music as an outlet to express himself.
Never poke nothing, never pop nothing. Every time it's on, you be screaming, it ain't about nothing.
Started to fall in love with being able to take my words and make these stories and create these pictures and be able to paint them, so that when I got out here, I was like, you know what, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
By producing the type of music and hip-hop imagery, they're able to challenge those assumptions. We see them as humans, we see them as feeling beings, we see them as they love, they hate. There's all types of emotions that go on, and you wouldn't think that if you watched the evening news.
I'ma tell you the rest of the story when son come home.
Back at the Pink Houses, I get a tour of the yard, a familiar face in the lobby.
She taught us how to cook up. I'm not gonna even lie. I know things change.
Yeah, for the record.
Definitely.
For the record.
The bullet a rival put in the door of Murda's grandmother in retaliation for a neighborhood beef.
Got a little hole right there.
The notorious staircase, not the one Akai Gurley was shot in, but similar.
Them pissy staircases.
Rarely do you hear the unedited truths of people living in poverty. We grab a soundbite, we throw up a mugshot, we'll tell you the verdict, but it's safer to find an expert who has never been than those who have lived. They're an open book if you're willing to receive it.
And it starts at home, but the home already f***ed up because your father already in jail, your mother already in drugs. Like, so it's the cycle is already messed up. You coming from a long line of criminals or drug addicts or drug dealers. Your uncle, you coming from that situation already. So what happens? How do you rise above that?
I know you got some crazy stories, huh?
A bunch. Like I was just telling you, the first time I seen somebody get shot was in front of that building right there. I was like 8, 9 years old. Kid turned around, hit him right in his head, and the bullet fell out his nose. And for like me, it was like a rush.
But you literally have brothers in the same community,
warring,
fighting for terror.
Yeah, I mean, we all went to school together, but at the end of the day, we all out here trying to get it.
It's not until you be mature enough to look back and say that,
realize
that what we really been fighting for really was about nothing.
How does the cycle of violence stop? Man?
You know, part of the problem that we have in these ghettos is the fact that we got access to assault rifles like that. Like, so you can't tell us to stop, stop the violence if we out here starving but got access to assault rifles.
And it's so easy to get a gun.
You understand?
Easy.
We talking about AKs, we talking about FNHs, we talking about AR-15s, everything. So, and I'm not just talking about Brooklyn, I'm talking about Chicago, I'm talking about Baltimore, I'm talking about
Miami,
I'm talking about everywhere, every ghetto. So if you got poor people that live in a district, but and there's drugs and there's poverty, but they got access to assault rifles and guns that actually don't make sense, that they're not used for hunting.
The mixtape's name doesn't need an explanation. Even if you're watching with your eyes wide shut, it should go without saying the price of life becomes cheap for people in poverty. Whether those murders come at the hands of each other or from outsiders, the tragedy of it all doesn't change.
The cop shot him.
Alright, listen.
I'm in my house already. There's like a million cops in the hallway, and I'm already in my house.
I understand. Don't put yourself in any danger.
What does that say about the value of a young black life?
They don't value it. They don't value it.
That's why we have a disconnect with the police.
Indeed.
Man.
But here's the thing.
You can't tell a young kid from just growing up here, I seen people make mistakes, right?
That's right.
They trying to say what he did was a mistake.
You know what?
People get in situations out here where they get heated and they react off just emotion or that time. You know, they was going through what they going through, and they might shoot somebody or commit an act, and they can't take that back. They're not telling my little man right here from the hood, if he shoots somebody and he said it was a mistake, they gonna make him serve time. Like one of my men right now got 18 years.
There's no room for mistakes, is what he's saying. 18 years for a mistake. In our community, there's no room for mistakes. So for your mistakes that you made when you was 14, 13, 15 years old, it sticks with you. So now that it messes you up later on in life, so now you can't excel as far as that you may want to, your family may want to, because you didn't succumb to the elements of your environment. You feel what I'm saying?
You got a felony, now you can't go get a job
exactly.
or certain things like that, so you're forced to be out here trying to get it. When I go out of town and do, shows, just let me know how far I came, because this is a hard place to make it out of, man. So, yeah, it just, it shows you that there's more out there too. Like I be wanting some of my little homies to know that it ain't just about the projects here. Like there's a whole different life outside of being over here slinging and banging. There's a whole lot, man. So just meet different people, new experiences, things of that nature. And that's what I really want my crew to experience, like just different things. It's so much, life is so bigger than just the hood, man. It's easy to get stuck in thinking this is what it is when you wake up here every day. You can easily get caught up in thinking this is it, right? I got some people that ain't never leave New York. You know what I mean? They don't know what it's like. All they know is the hood.
Trying to stay alive, man.
Definitely.
Appreciate you.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you, man.
For sure, respect.
Love.
Where Brooklyn at?
What came first, the root or the fruit? Who are you gonna point a finger at? The social constructs that created these environments, or the people whose worldview is shaped by them.
We live in Brooklyn, baby.